It was obvious that he was none other than Lord Vishnu, for he had 4 hands which held a conch shell, a club, a disc, and a lotus flower. His chest was decorated with mark of Srivatsa, a curl of golden hair. He wore a jewel necklace of Kaustuba stone, and he was clothed in yellow silk. He looked dazzling like a bright blackish cloud. He also wore a helmet inlaid with Vaidurya stone, sported valuable bracelets, earrings, and other similar ornaments all over his body, and had an abundance of hair on his head. Vasudev was struck with wonder as he looked at his newborn baby. He was so happy that in celebration he mentally gave thousands of cows in charity to the Brahmanas. Then he bowed with folded hands and began to offer the Lord heartfelt prayers. Vasudev was in a transcendental state and he became completely free from all fear of Kamsa. After Vasudev finished his prayers, Devaki offered hers. She was very frightened because of her brother's atrocity, so she begged, "My lord, please save me from the cruel hands of Kamsa, for you are always ready to give protection to our servitors. My only cause of fear from my brother Kamsa is due to your appearance. Kamsa may not know that you are already born. Therefore, I entreat you to conceal your forearm form so that you will not be easily recognizable, and then perhaps I can hide you somewhere from Kamsa." Krishna replied, "I appeared in this Vishnu form just to convince you that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, had again taken birth. I could have appeared just like an ordinary child, but then you may have doubted who I really am. I know you are very concerned about me and afraid of Kamsa, and to allay those fears, here is what is to be done. I want you to take me to Gokul immediately. There you will find that Yashoda has just given birth to a daughter. You will replace her daughter with me and then bring her daughter back here." Having spoken thus, the Lord transformed himself into an ordinary 2-armed child and remained silent. Vasudev took Krishna and walked out of the prison within Kamsa's palace. By the arrangement of Yogamaya, Krishna's internal potency, all the residents of the palace were overwhelmed with deep sleep, and all the palace doors and gates, which had been locked and shackled with chains, suddenly opened. The night was very dark, but soon as Vasudev took Krishna and went out, as a result of Krishna's glaring effulgence, he could see everything just as in the sunlight. At the same time, there was thunder in the sky and severe rainfall. While Vasudev was carrying his son through the falling rain, Anantashesh appeared there in the shape of a serpent and spread his hood like an umbrella over the head of Vasudev so that he would not be hampered by the rainfall. When Vasudev reached the bank of the Yamuna river, he saw that water of the Yamuna was roaring with waves and that the whole span was full of foam. Still in the furious future, the river gave passage to Vasudev and he was able to cross it very easily. On the other side, he went to the home of Nanda Maharaj, situated in Gokul, where he saw all the cowherd men were fast asleep. He silently entered the house without difficulty and replaced Yashoda's newborn child with his son. Then he crossed the river again, returned to the prison, and closed all the doors and gates. He silently placed the baby girl on Devaki's lap. In Gokul, when Yashoda had given birth, she was so tired from the labor of delivery that she fell fast asleep. When she awoke, she could not remember whether she had given birth to a male or a female child. After Vasudev re entered his cell, the gatekeepers awoke and heard the newborn child crying. They immediately hastened to Kamsa's bedroom to inform him. Kamsa jumped out of his bed and exclaimed, "Now the cruel death of my life has been born." He became perplexed, his body hair stood on end, and he hurried to the cell where Krishna had been born. Devaki, on seeing Kamsa approach, she prayed to him, "My dear brother, my child is a female. Please do not kill her. When she is of age, I promise to give her to your son as a wife. According to the omen, you are not to be killed by a female, but by a male." Nonetheless, Kamsa was so cruel that he did not listen to Devaki's prayers. Instead, to rebuke her, he forcefully grabbed the newborn child and was just about to mercilessly dash her onto the stone floor. However, the child Yogamaya, having miraculous power, flew out of his hand and up into the air, mystically hovered there as goddess Durga. She was decorated with gorgeous dress, flower garlands, and ornaments, and in her 8 hands she held a bow, arrow, sword, conch shell, disc, club, and a shield. Seeing the glorious child, all the demigods appeared, presented her with gifts, and offered respective prayers. Then the goddess said to Kamsa, "You rascal, how can you kill me? The child who will kill you had already been born somewhere within this world, so don't be so cruel to your poor sister." Kamsa then became overwhelmed with fear. Out of pity and guilt, he unshackled and freed Vasudeva and Devaki. Then he apologized very politely for his past atrocities against their newborn children. When Devaki and Vasudev saw Kamsa so repentant, they became pacified. Vasudev then spoke to him in a very forgiving and philosophical manner. Kamsa became exceedingly pleased, and his guilt of having killed his nephew subsided. With the permission of Devaki and Vasudev, he returned to his chambers with a relieved mind. But the next day, Kamsa called all his counselors together and narrated to them all the incidents that had happened the night before. All the counselors of Kamsa were demons and eternal enemies of the Supreme Lord and Demigod, so they became depressed upon hearing their master speak of night's event. And although they were not very experienced or learned, they began to instruct Kamsa as follows: "Dear sir, let us now make arrangement to kill all children who were born within the last 10 days in all town, villages, and pasturing grounds. Let us execute this plan immediately." Thus, being advised by demoniac ministers, Kamsa, who was from the very beginning the greatest rascal, decided to follow their advice. Thereafter, for many years, Kamsa sent demons to Vrindavan to kill Krishna, but Krishna, being the supreme lord, easily killed all of them. Krishna defeating the demons sent by Kamsa, as well as many of Krishna's other transcendental pastimes, are narrated in Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.